Hello everybody, my name is Miss Vanessa and I'd like to welcome you guys to another episode of Tinker With Me, where I take apart an old piece of technology so that way we can see what's inside and how it works. So today I have a CNC, and I'm pretty sure we all had one of these growing up. Let's see.
Lion. The elephant says.
So I'm going to take this apart with some of the tools that I have here, and we're going to see what we can find inside of here and see if we can understand what it is that is making this toy work. So let's take a look and see what we can find. But first, always remember that we got to be safe, so I have my goggles on to make sure that my eyes are safe from anything that might be inside of here. So let's get started. So here is what I have for us today. Here's our CNC. We have a bigger screwdriver because in the past I've kind of had some issues with the smaller screwdrivers. And then I have my screwdriver set with a bunch of different bits. And then I have another set of screwdrivers here. And then our little container to put in all of the screws that we find. So the first thing I always do is I find the battery and I take that out first. Okay, so it looks like our CNC runs on 2 AA batteries. So let's get those 2 batteries out of here. Okay, so let's just make sure it's not. Yep, we are all good to go. So now we can take out all of these different screws, and I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is a lot for us. So let's start with that first. Okay, there we go. We have all 10 of our screws that have been removed. So let's see if we can pop this open. Hopefully we should just be able to pull it apart. Oh, nice. So this one comes out really nicely. And there, we're going to take a peek. Hopefully we don't drop anything and see what we can find inside. So I think the first thing that I'm noticing here is this spring that works with this handle where you pull it down and it makes our arrow here spin. And so what's making that work is our spring here. Ooh, whoops. And there goes our handle. But so what it is right here we have where we pull down. And that is what is helping our handle go down and then come right back up. So I'm gonna move that out of the way. Let's see what else we can see in here. So I think we're gonna have to take this all the way apart, but I see some gears in there, which are probably what is making our arrow over here spin around. So we'll have to take out a couple more screws. And so right here, here's our battery pack. So this is what connects, this is what gives our CNC some power. And then as you can see, it looks like the wires here go to this over here, which I'm assuming is going to be our motherboard for this, for our CNC. Something else that I'm seeing is right down here. It looks like this is our speaker, so this is where we're getting sound out of. And as you can see, here's the speaker holes on the other side, so there's our speaker. So let's take apart a couple more of these screws and see what's underneath all of this. Okay, so I've taken out these screws here and then these screws over here. So I don't think we're going to be able to put this back together, but that's okay because I really want to see how this works. And it looks like here we have our first set of gears, and I think there's more gears underneath this. I'm going to take this off, and like I said, I think this is our motherboard, so we're going to flip that around. Okay, there we go. So here's our motherboard. It looks like there's a bunch of different buttons here, which I'm not sure what that goes to. I'm assuming that wherever the arrow stops, it knows to press one of these buttons, and that's what lets it know what sound to make. So this one might be the cow says moo, or this one might be the elephant says what elephants say. Okay, and so I'm gonna see if I can take out the next layer of things. So I'm gonna move some more stuff out of the way. So here is, yep, it looks like we have to take out these two screws now. Should just be able to hopefully pop this out now. Move this out of the way. Okay, so it looks like there's two more screws I have to take out that I missed. Okay, now we should just be able to pop this out. And I want to see all those gears underneath this. It looks like we have some sort of putty that is sticking our battery pack to the rest of this. So I'm just going to slowly try to pull it off. Alright, there we go. So as you can see, there's the putty that was holding this all together. But this is where we had, as I showed you guys before, so you can have a better view of our motherboard here. Here's the different buttons I was talking about. And that was laying right here on these gears. And so let's see. When we spin, so it looks like this gear has a spring on it. And then this is what's spinning everything else. So as I mentioned, this is the thing that pulls down, and when we pull down, it is causing this gear to move this, and then it all spins around, which is really interesting. Something else that's here, let's see what this is. So I think, I don't know if you guys remember, so we have this here that we can flip back and forth, and I've always wondered how it is that it knows what side it's on. And now I'm seeing, it looks like there's actually a switch here. So when you move it from one side to another, it lets this switch know what side it is that you're on. So it clicks that switch. Let's be really quiet and see if we can hear that click. Yeah, so it's definitely a switch, which is really cool. I didn't know that that's how it works. So there, and the switch is right there. So that is what's letting it know what side that you're on. And then, like I said, there's a bunch of gears here, and so that's what's helping our arrow on the other side to spin. And then wherever it stops, I think it presses one of these buttons, and then that lets our CNC know what to say. But I think that's everything in here, and I think we should actually, since we've taken everything apart, we might as well take a look at what our speaker looks like up close. Okay, and so here we can just pop that speaker out now. So that is what our speaker looks like on both sides, and it just hangs out here where I showed you on the other side. There's the little holes to let the sound out. That is connected to our motherboard. We also on our motherboard have it connected to our battery pack here, and then the last thing that's connected to our motherboard is right here on this switch. And I wonder if I can pop this switch out, because I really want to see, we might not be able to though, but I really want to see what this switch looks like on the other side. There it is. Okay. This is actually really exciting. So here is the switch, and like I said, it is a switch, so this is how it knows what side of our CNC is showing. So it switches from one side. Oh, it's a click. So it switches from one side to the other side, which is really cool. And that's the only other thing that's attached to our motherboard. So I think this was really exciting. I actually think I learned more, and this is a much more complex toy than I ever thought it was. But it's a complex toy that's using very simple mechanisms. So like gears are a very simple mechanism, springs are a very simple mechanism, and switches, speakers are both very simple things that you'll find in toys. But the way it's all constructed together, I think was really, really cool. And I would have never known until I actually delved in and took a look inside. So that was really, really awesome. And I really enjoyed taking a peek and seeing what was inside of this. So, yeah. Okay, so sometimes when I cut back to this shot, the toy will be put back together because I've put all the pieces back together, but not this time. There was a lot going on in this one, so we still have our broken CNC here. But I thought that was so cool. Some things that we learned were that this right here, when we flip this from one side to another, that works on a switch. I would have never guessed that. I think something that I learned too was there's gears hidden here, which was super awesome. And there's like springs that allow the handle to be pulled back and forth. And so I think this was probably the most fun that I've had taking something apart, because there's a lot of things that I did understand in this one. And it had a lot of components that are found in other toys, but the way it's put together was really, really awesome, and I had a lot of fun exploring all the different pieces to this. So I hope you guys had fun too. And it was really interesting to see how this toy works. So thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!